How's everyone doing tonight? It's Saturday night, and I feel all right. The music going. Missed the intro a little bit. It was a little bit delayed on the intro, but we're good. We're good. So, tonight we are done with the Trident build. We've got a few things to wrap up. We got to put a panel on. Got to figure out some doors. We got to do some input shaping. Got our little accelerometer here. But tonight is pretty much the last dedicated stream for the Trident build. We're gonna wrap up all the little odds and ends and basically put a bow on it, and it's gonna be done. I'm gonna run it for a bit, and then we'll do stuff like stealth burner and whatnot later. So, what has been going on? For those earlier in the week on Tuesday, we played around. We started building the V0 from the Lecter kit. We'll continue that on this Tuesday coming up at 10 a.m. Eastern, so it'll be a little bit more Euro-friendly time zone. I don't know how long we'll stream. It'll be a little bit of a longer one probably. And I've been printing on this, so this hasn't been sitting around doing nothing. I've actually recently printed this guy. Focus. There we go. So, an articulated crystal dragon, and this is in some Sparta 3D. This is still untuned, by the way. This is like whatever the default settings for this machine are. That's what we got. So, and if you doubt me, you could see the mark from it on the bed. So yes, I have been printing with this just to make sure that, you know, everything was kind of functional. We didn't have any issues. Like I know I'm gonna have to tension up the belts a bit now because they've kind of worn into their initial break-in. You want to get, in my opinion, you want to print for a bit before you go do stuff like input shaper, because stuff settles. Okay, like these belts are a little bit looser than when they originally, and the belts tend to like slack off after a couple hours of printing, and then they kind of even out. So you want to break it in first and then do input shaping, because if you do input shaping right away and then your belts loosen off, your input shaping value's off. So, what are we going to do? So, we're going to flip it over. I got to hook up the accelerometer. I've got to put some skirts on it. Hook up some things underneath that we forgot. Some skirts and whatnot. And then we'll flip it up. Put the panels on. We'll do the input shaper. The pressure advance. And then we'll just do a print. So, this is pretty much an after action report on the build itself. So, once we get it up and running and doing tuning and whatever that we have to like wait for stuff to finish, we'll go over things that I liked about the build and the kit, things I didn't like about the build and the kit, and we'll just kind of talk our way through it and come to a decision on how does the kit rate. And then there will be a separate video on the kit itself. So I will do like a sit down talk through video of this kit. In a little bit, probably not right away, because I want to get more hours on it. The plan is basically I'm going to print the we are going to print the minion, the V minion parts on this kit. So that's going to be the plan. So on Thursday, I actually we did a little members only stream. For all my Patreon supporters and YouTube members. And if you missed that stream and you are a supporter, it should still be available. So, we started putting the panels on there just because it's putting panels on here. You're not missing too much great content there. Put a bottom panel, like the bottom. I normally don't put those on. Just because I normally don't. I might on this one. We'll see. Not right now, though. They all sit on hard desks, so it's not like stuff's going to get up under them. So I'm not like concerned about, you know, stuff getting in them. I hate hammerheads. It's like, turn. No, turn. There you go. So we'll do this. We'll get the panels on. We'll flip it over. Do some input shaping. Who puts the bottom panel? Exactly. I printed the V-Minion rail jig. That was one of the things, like, I was going through the V-Minion files the other day. No jigs. It's just, here's the dimensions for where centering your rails should be. Kind of eyeball that. And I'm like, where's the jigs, man? Printed jigs. But people in the community have made them, so I'll just use those. There's always one that doesn't want to spin. I will make you spin. Oh, Abraham, 1999. Keep up the good work. Thank you. Appreciate that. Need me some 3D printers for ants. Well, I got like 3 V0s right now, so. A Voron Double Dragon? No, I have not. Yeah, the Minion kit should hopefully be here soon. That will be the next full build. Is a V-Minion, or correction, I don't know. I don't know what's going to show up first. If the rat rig's going to show up first, or the Micron is going to show up first. I have a feeling it's going to be the Micron. We'll see. I put an order down for a Prusa XL. Yeah, I got one of those too. At first I was like, I don't need a Prusa XL, and then you guys kind of convinced me to. Which, by the way, for those curious why there's like 2 streams a week now, and actually next week we might do 3 streams. I might do a stream on Friday, next Friday, and put the CNC together. I have a little ComGrow little desktop CNC router, so engraver. We might put that together on Friday. We might do 3 streams next week. We'll see. But taking a leave from work just to see how full-time YouTube works. So this might be a thing going forward. And this is all for the European folks, because I know the Europeans, they don't like the weekday or the late streams. So I'm trying to make it better for the Europeans. So I've decided to go full-time YouTube so I can stream during the day. There we go. And I am happy to say, the kit has enough stuff. I didn't run out of screws or anything. It looks like we got enough there. Full time for now. I took some time off work. There's some stuff going on. I'm taking a little bit of a break, just to see how it goes. If it goes well, it goes well. If it doesn't go well, it doesn't go well. Modbot $9.99. Congrats on going full time. Thank you. Appreciate it. And for those who haven't subbed to Modbot, do it. Good guy. Ludwig, thank you for becoming a member. Do an Ivan Miranda 1x1 meter. I can't justify that at all. For two reasons. I don't print big things. Occasionally I print something big. You know, but like, I can print stuff this big on my existing printers. So there's that. And where the heck am I gonna put it? I ain't got room. I ain't got room for that. Okay, so I broke one of these. Okay, so we'll put the door on after. What is that? Timothy Thief, $5. Thank you, appreciate it. Congrats on temporary full-time. I shall bless your cooling ducts when they never melt. Stealth burner ones are pretty good. They don't melt yet. John Clark, $10. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. You're awesome. Because you're awesome. Oh, you're awesome too. And finally got spring-loaded T-nuts. I swear by them. And yeah, they are pretty cool. Yeah, the spring-loaded, like the little cheapy spring-loaded nuts, they're not, you know... I have the Misumi spring nuts that are like completely pimp and they're awesome, but man, are they hard to justify dropping the coin on them. Rat Rick teased an IDEX V-Core. I seen the video. For those that don't know, Eddie the engineer is working on a, well, he has it functional. He's still tweaking it though. Was that was 100, not 10? Did I? Oh, I said 10. Okay, well, John Clark 100. I seen the 10. It's red. I know it's 100. I'm that shocked. But I might turn this into an IDEX because Eddie's working on making a IDEX Trident, and that would be an easier thing for me to modify an existing printer to IDEX versus go scratch built. Because it takes up the same amount of room if you take one printer that you already have and make it into another printer versus, you know, completely new. So let's put our panels on here. I corrected myself. Yeah, it is 100. I know it's 100. It pops up on screen. I do know. John is an awesome guy and has been very supportive of the channel. So I actually did some experimenting. I printed a whole bunch of these skirts with a 0.8 or 0.8 nozzle really fast, and honestly, I don't think it's worth it. I think they're heavier. Is there some kind of race? I don't know. Some people like to think there is. Rat Rig is a company. Voron's just a bunch of guys who put out designs, so it's like they're not really. You can't compare apples to apples. Like on the Voron team, we really don't compete with anyone. We don't like look at other printers and be like, oh my god, they're so much faster, or we have to beat them in XYZ reason. We don't do that at all. When do I fix the fan skirt? Never. Never! Or I might fix it now, we'll see. David's here. Everyone say hi, David. Who called him Daddy? Sanity. Oh. Am I gonna install Purge Bucket and Clicky? I'm not gonna spoil anything. Put it that way. But we are going to run this stock for a bit. This will be run stock for a while, simply so that we can judge it, right? This is a kit build. I have to build the kit to review the kit. So we are going to run it stock for a while. And then we'll fiddle around with stuff. But for now, stock. Am I out of M38s? I'm out of M38s. Agalito, thank you for becoming a member. And Stephen Dowdle, $2. Thank you, appreciate it. They are the right. Oh, I know they're the wrong way around. But I don't put the bottom panel on, and I like the. If you look, right? If you look, okay, see how it dishes in, and it dishes in, and it also dishes in. It's consistent look, versus it being like that. Plus, I know it's annoying people, so I'm gonna keep doing it. Don't use a metal brush. I don't use I'm out of M38s. Maybe I am short on M38s, but I did drop a bunch of them during the build, so that makes sense. I don't use a nozzle brush. I don't know. I don't have buildup on the nozzle. Like my start routine handles gunk on the nozzle pretty well, so I'm gonna have to roll this over. No cereal until I fix it. Fine. Is it annoying you guys that much? Like now I gotta flip it around. Now I gotta undo VHB tape. There. Happy? Something fell. What fell? Oh, the T-nut fell. Where'd the T-nut go? Well, it's gone. Hopefully it didn't fall into any electronic things. Echo 2 Papa 2, member for 2 months. Doing great, love the show. That's good to hear. And Poppy with a bunch of numbers. Thank you for becoming a member. The wooden crate over there, that is my super duper awesome. I need to get something in frame when I'm recording a video. I recorded the way I gotta edit it, so it'll probably be out. By the time I get it edited, it'll probably be out Monday. But I recorded the review for the Whale 2, the larger resin printer. So this is what I do. The problem is right now when I record a video, I like this camera angle where my camera's like over there. So if you look, I keep my chunk of granite right here and my camera goes on the tripod over there. So what I do is when I'm standing right here, because of the lens, if I have something on the desk, it's too low. So I put that wooden crate on the desk and then I put the chunk of granite on top so that it's at chest level so I can record stuff and it's all in frame. That's what that wooden crate is for. It's literally a milk crate to raise up my desk. And now the apron straps, no, because it brings comments in. It drives engagement. Are the cable tracks? Yes, everything. The only thing that was not part of the kit that I've done to this printer, I swapped out the Dragon for a Raptor. Because we all know a Dragon hot end works fine. Like, a Dragon hot end is nothing, like, we know it'll work, right? And some folks were super awesome, Sanity, and the rest, I don't know the rest off by heart, but I know Sanity, hooked me up with a Raptor hot end, and so I'm running a Raptor hot end. And the wiring. We played around with, we changed out a bunch of the wiring, because the way that they wanted me to wire it up, I was not going to do that. I'll cover that in the video. But basically, all the wiring for all the components assumed you were running wires directly from like the tool head fan right to the controller without like a connector at the tool head. So we had to like cut and crimp everything and whatnot. What am I drinking? G Fuel. Use code WUBBY, 30% off. I've stopped drinking pop. I'm on a somewhat of a diet, so I've stopped drinking pop and whatnot, sugary drinks. So for something, I'm drinking G Fuel. So, yay. Triangle Labs CHC. What's the CHC? Pop is common in Canada too. Pop is common in Canada too. I've been down like south where they're like, do you want a Coke? And I'm like, yeah. They're like, what kind of Coke? I'm like, Coke? Like, oh, do you want Pepsi Coke or Coca Coke? I'm like, what? The nut went down the middle. Well, hopefully there's no bare wires in there, so we should be okay. But I will take that cover off and try and fish it out. It should be in there somewhere. It was so weird. When I was down in Alabama, I was down there for work for a week, and I go in the Walmart, and you had the Pepsi product aisle, the Coca-Cola product aisle, and then the Mountain Dew aisle. And I'm like, oh, they love their Mountain Dew here. That's PHB. Canada Dry. Canada Dry is good. Canada Dry, some ice cubes, and some JP Weisers is a good drink. Pop is soda. It's a regional dialect, right? It's a regional dialect. Upstate Utica. If you're from Albany, you probably never heard it. G Fuel much healthier. It's a little bit of a powder and mostly water, and it's got no sugar in it. I guarantee you it's not as healthy, but I need something sweet every now and then. And I'd rather drink that than pop. I normally just drink a ton of water now. I lost the one. So let's get the one out of here. Oh, it's gonna suck. Dang it. Oh wait, I could just do it the easy way. Why am I trying to pry this off? Okay, so there should be a T-nut in here. Somebody said the T-nut fell down here. I don't see it. Oh, it fell out. Got it right here. Got it. Got him! Like a glove? Pinch any of these wires in there. Okay, that's good there. Now the last thing I can do is, if I want to be Gucci, I don't really plan on doing it often, but hook up the connector here. So now, if I need to plug this in over Ethernet at any point, I can. Yeah, that'll work. There we go. So now I have an Ethernet port because there's a keystone connector right here, so I can plug Ethernet into the back if I ever need to, instead of having to go underneath and plug it into the Pi. So I believe that's it for under the hood. For those curious, right here, I already ran the wires for the LEDs in the tool head when I do upgrade it to a stealth burner. So I have those already done. That's there, that's there. That I'm going to zip tie. And I'm going to be kind of... I'm not going to zip tie it there because I'm going to have to get connectors in at some point. But I am going to put a little connector there so it doesn't droop down. Pathetic Puma, $5. I'm looking to turn my Ender 5 into a Legacy with the 350, 60. Should I modify it 10 mil? So Legacy is kind of meant to be built as is. I don't think anyone's really built oversized Legacies. When I built Tallboy, okay, originally, Tallboy, this frame was originally, the tall frame back there, was originally a V1.5, and I did do 10mm Z, 8mm XY, and it still had flex issues on the, yeah, and that was 300, and it had flex issues with 8. I would not do 350 on a Legacy. I would not. At that span, 350, you want rails. Ever thought about doing a printer mod series for Ender 3 Voron upgrades to print Voron parts? I have an Ender 3 that's modded right here with everything you need. I just haven't finished wiring it up because it's been on the back burner. But you could print ABS on it. All you need to do is swap out the heat break to an all metal one. Personally, I would go ahead and put a flex plate on it and put a cardboard box over it. That's pretty much all you need. Like, you don't need fancy. Everyone thinks you need a fancy machine to print ABS. You just need an enclosed machine with an all metal heat break. So, we got to hook up an accelerometer now. So, input shaper. Clipper inputty shaper. No, input shaper. Measure resonances. Blah, blah, blah. Where is it? Wiring. Here we go. So, where's my ADXL? So, I need to do a video on it, but I want to, at some point, I'm still plugging into my Raspberry Pis because I'm lazy. But what I need to do at some point is connect this to an actual MCU. I have, and I probably will use it. Is it in here? I've got like an Arduino Seed RP2040 based little MCU. I want to do that so that way I don't have to like reinstall Clipper on every MCU. But I gotta plug this in now to make sure the right way around. Yeah, so I think it's 8 down. So what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then it's on 9. Yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then it's on 9. All right. Check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then it's on 9. Got that wired around the right way. Bada bing, bada boom. We're good. I've seen the Ender 3 V3. I've seen the Ender 3, what is it called? Ender 3 S1. I think I have one of them on the way. A reseller sent one to me. I won't get it till like February though, I think. But I do have one on the way. So, technically, I should be putting this on my desk or on my bench. Because when it comes to running input shaper, you want the printer kind of like in the state that the printer will be like running in, right? So, if I do it on this bench shakes, okay? It's not bolted to the wall. This printer is going to live here. So, we'll get the doors on it. And we'll move it over there, and then we'll do it all over there. So. Yeah. So let's plug it in first and get that all set up. Because we still got to install a bunch of stuff and whatnot, so we'll go ahead and do that now. Make sure I didn't break anything. Hey, bot. So I need my front panels. So, for those that remember, this kit, the panels that came with the kit had issues. So, they were too small. So, Fabrico did the panels, or the flex plates. MN Laser Cutting did me some ABS panels to replace the bottom plate and the back plate that were too small. And then he also made me some front panels that go like that. So, it's kind of cool. We got a little window. So I don't know if I'll put those on now, but they do have to go on at some point. So let's get this installed. So it's a regular afterburner, so we could do the really ghetto way of doing it, where we just kind of take a bolt out, get a longer one, and just kind of slap it on the front. Thomas Seaman, 20, thank you, appreciate it. Will I make a comparison of the Revo, Raptor, and Rapido one day? I'll try. But it will basically, like, it... Here's the problem. They're all good hot ends. How much flow do you need? Like, I have limited use with the Raptor so far, but let's be honest. I took a Raptor, I threw it in a completely untuned printer, and this was the, this is the result. Like, this is a completely awesome print, right? Like, zero issues. So, it's all a flow rate thing. Like, obviously, you're not going to get the flow rate out of Revo as the other ones. But the Revo's got, like, you know... yeah. The Revo has advantages like the quick change, no risk of oozing. Like, it's all depends what you're doing and what you need. This might be too long. Yeah, the screw's too long. Yeah, we might be okay. We might be okay. There we go. So, you know what? We'll run it all here, and then I'll run it later on the bench. So we need to set this printer up. So we got that. And because I can never remember, let me pull up the tutorial. Okay, so we have our accelerometer wired up, mounting it, we've got it mounted, software installation. So I'm pretty sure Mainsail, and Ray could probably correct me before I even get to it, Mainsail has Numpy pre-installed. Where do you put the 80XL? So here's the thing. It's a beta. There will be, the final revision will have a mounting point for it. We're just trying to find the most optimal spot for it. But there should be, or will be, a dedicated mount point, or an easily removable mount point for it on the stealth burner. So, again, it's a beta. But that is one of the, that is something we've known, like, that is something on the list. So I'm pretty sure Numpy is already installed. You haven't worked on it over 6 months? Yeah, it's already installed. Okay. So I'm pretty sure sudo apt-get update. So we're doing updates. A lot of 3D printing answers are situational. There's not always a right or wrong answer, but it's more important. Exactly. That's the thing. Like, we are well at the point now with most of like good 3D printing, where we are definitely at the point of diminishing returns. Okay. So much is just good that we're fighting over fractions of a percent or a small percent upgrade. Like, everyone's like, why isn't there a high flow Revo? Well, E3D has looked at the market, and bringing something new to the market, you target what will be your biggest impact, right? Most people don't need high flow hotends. Most people won't ever take full advantage of a high flow hotend, right? So majority of the market is people running Ender 3s at normal speeds, running Marlin. Like, that is 90% of your market is those type of printers. And so if you're bringing something new to the market, you're gonna put out a product that hits the biggest chunk of the market. It makes sense. Okay, so we've updated that. Add the following to your printer config. Oh wait, I gotta install the Raspberry Pi as an MCU. Why are you doing that? What is going on here? Copy. Paste. Okay. Copy. Paste. Copy. Paste. Okay. Sudo clipper or CD clipper. Make menu config. So right now what we're doing, we are basically installing the Raspberry Pi as the as an MCU and Clipper, so that Clipper can, you know, run stuff off the GPIO on the Raspberry Pi. So that's what we're doing right now, because our ADXL is connected to the Raspberry Pi. Maker 3D Printing, $4.99. Appreciate it. Your past live stream showing how to change the PWM cycle time solved a major pet peeve of mine. My lights no longer flicker. That is awesome. Okay. So we're good there. Okay. And then we got a sudo Raspberry Pi, enable SPI. And that is under interface options. Would you like SPI to be enabled? Okay. Finish. Okay. And now we add this to our config. Machine, printer CFG. So our probe points, you want these to be the middle of your bed. So 175, 175, and 20 millimeters off the deck. That's good enough. Save, restart. What board am I using? On this printer, it came with the kit. It is a Spider 2.2. Why are those ADXL 345? I bought mine off Amazon. You can find them all over the place on AliExpress, I believe. It's been a while since I bought one, though. Okay. So we are done there. So for bed slingers, so you could basically run Accelerometer query at this point, and this will tell you so See, we got numbers there, so it's picking up something, so we're good. Okay. So we can home the printer now. Now, when you go to mount this, remember, you have to be able to move, the head has to move around your printer. If your printer is a bed slinger, you're gonna have to run it basically once for the tool head and then attach it to your bed and run it for your bed. Attaching it to your bed depends on how your bed is set up. You can remove a screw, mount it to the bed that way. You can attach to the bed with double-sided tape, but what a lot of people are doing now is they're printing a mount directly on the bed and then screwing the 80XL to that printed mount that's attached to the bed and just leave it attached to the bed. So, another bot. I gotta get, report, unwanted, spam, goodbye. I gotta set up a bot. I stream elements, I could do that. I keep not doing it. I keep forgetting to do that. It's like, I'll come down before stream and set it up, and then I come down here, get a bunch of stuff set up, and then I don't. Okay, so we're gonna be lazy. Well, not lazy, it works pretty good. We're gonna do the automatic input. So you just type shaper calibrate, and it just kind of does its thing. So, make sure the printer's actually sitting, because I'm gonna be lazy and just do it on here. And then I'll rerun everything once I actually have it in its home. But actually that dust is pretty solid. Shaper calibrate, boom. And this is the part where it's gonna shake. And you can see it's doing its little, doing the funky chicken. And you can see there it's testing different frequencies. But basically when it's doing this, in reality, in a perfect world, you want to be doing this where the printer will run with, if the panels are all on, with all your panels on the bench it's going to run at, with a spool of filament hanging off of it. Like, you want this to be as similar to its normal operating condition as possible to get the most result. Now, does that mean if you are running it without a spool of filament and then you put a spool of filament on, the numbers are junk? No. Okay? It's a curve, it's a percentage curve. It might make a fraction of a percent difference, but we're talking if you want the most accurate results, because some people are really into that. Corner picture is covering the output. Oh yeah, I keep forgetting it does that. There, I'll do this. And do that. Then put input shaper over here. Or stream gates over here. I can't minimize it anymore. But there we go. Is Fluid dead? No. So the main dev of Fluid kind of stepped back from it. Some other people took over. They have a new update. They are working on an update. A major update should be out soon, I believe. There was a notification on their Discord about it. So it's not dead, it was just on hiatus for a bit. Hello from Sault Ste. Marie. Hello! Yes, like that smash button. So again, if you are running this on a bed slinger, essentially you have to run it, where is it? You would have to run like shaper calibrate axis X, your X axis, and mount it to your Y axis, which would be your bed, do your Y axis. Since this is a Core XY and it's the tool head moves in both X and Y, you can do them both at the same time. And then you may have noticed I have the spool holder mounted up top here. Just for the amount of room I have over there, I figure I'll mount the spool holder up top. That way I have a little guide here so the filament will go whoop and in. Because this is a wide boy. It does fit there. So the current plan is right now, I have like a little bench down here. Get rid of that and build like a proper bench. Put the V2 that's coming up down there, and then the Micron down there. Or because right now I got Toasty there and another one. So I could fit another printer down there. So I can fit 2 printers down there, and I can fit 2 down here. So the Micron's got to go somewhere. The V-Minion's got to go somewhere. A V2's got to go somewhere. A CNC's got to go somewhere. The Ender will go in the other room. The Trident will go, or the Delta will go in the other room. I'm running out of room. Do I have any Prusament? I have whatever's left on this spool, which is 150 grams, I think. Which I'm saving for whenever a stealth printer comes out of beta, so I can print one for this guy. Magnus, 50 kroner. Appreciate it. Thank you. I need another building. Well, this is kind of my job now, so I won't lie. I have been looking to see if I could rent like a little warehouse or a little shop or something. There's like nothing around me, unfortunately. I don't feel like driving an hour. Okay. So it's all done. And basically it gives you different, it gives you different values, okay? So it gives you the results for all the different input shapers. So the thing with input shaper, okay, and some people don't understand this. Some people, I've seen people comment about this, but if they mention this, that means they don't truly understand input shaper, okay? Everything has a downside to it, okay? Nothing is a magic bullet. Nothing is a silver bullet that fixes all your problems, okay? The world, unfortunately, does not work that way. So, for example, okay, if you want to print fast, you increase your acceleration, okay? You print faster, but now you have ringing, okay? Ringing is a downside of printing faster. Now, if you want to print faster, you could do input shaper, but when you run input shaper, it rounds your corners, okay? There's different types of input shaper. If you are rounding your corners to the point where your prints are no longer geometrically accurate for what you need, you're running too aggressive of an input shaper. You need to step it back. So normally I really only run like MZV input shaper. There's like MZV, ZV, 2 hump EI, 3 hump EI. They get more and more aggressive and they reduce more and more ringing. On the flip side of that, you round your corners more, okay? Nothing is perfect. There will always be a downside. So while input shaper does reduce ringing at higher accelerations, it does not mean you can just set the max input shaper, throw it at 30,000 Excel, YOLO it, and you'll have perfect prints, okay? You're gonna have rounded corners at that point. So you may not be able to push the numbers as high as you want and still get crisp, sharp corners, but you'll be able to push it more than without running input shaper. So if you're rounding your corners on a print, it's because you're running too aggressive of an input shaper. You need to step it back. And consequently, if you're running a less aggressive input shaper, you may not be able to bump those accels up as high as you would like, but you'll still be able to run them higher than without input shaper. So, yeah. Marco, would I quit my full-time job if I pulled like 1K viewers on stream? Well, I'm already on leave from job trying this full-time, so we're not exactly at 1,000, but I'm happy with, what are we at right now? 326. I can live with that. It's quality over quantity. You guys are all awesome. So yeah. So it basically tells you here and what it would recommend. So for example, let's see here. So it's suggesting the acceleration it's suggesting is basically on the y-axis run 2 hump EI, frequency Y 61 hertz, and then on the x-axis MZV 54.6 hertz. Okay, so if I type save config, it saves that. Okay, but what you could do is basically remember all these numbers. It does save it all to a file. So if you want to look at it, and you can play around and see. But, you know, for example, it's suggesting on my x-axis 54 hertz MZV, 8800 Excel, and the y-axis at 2 humpy I, 6400. So this machine, it's recommending with its recommended input shaper auto calibration, don't push beyond about 6400 acceleration, which that's pretty dang good. Now you can go higher than that, just don't do that on anything that you're going to see. So travel moves, send it. Infill, send it. But like your outer walls, yeah, slow it down a bit. Make those look a little bit gooder. So save config. And I am going to run this again off stream once I get this in its proper position. Okay, so now pressure advance. So we need to feed this guy some food. So this machine is going to be an ABS machine most likely. So let me get some yummy Nami printer food. Where's my gray at? I find gray works pretty good for input shaper. Or for pressure advanced tuning. Yeah, we'll go with that. Silver ABS Plus. And I'm going to unhook this for now. But I will need this in the future, so I'll just put you in there for now. And I don't know where I put the other screw that I took out. Shoot. Yeah, my Euro stream had more viewers. Yeah, my weekday streams get more viewers. That's just what it is. Because right now it's late, so it's like midnight there already. So it's mostly just North Americans and the Aussies who are up early that I get at this stream. The weekday streams, I get everyone in North America who is either watching me at work or they're not working, or they're students or whatever, like, you know, people who work afternoons or can watch from work. Plus I get all the Europeans, plus I get the Aussies. So like early midday streams have a very good time zone. Most of my audience, a good chunk of it is North American, but a very good chunk of it is European. So Trident spool holder? No, this is a switch wire spool holder. The Trident one is one that sticks out the side like this. Okay, so pressure advance, clipper. Get rid of the dragon. So we're gonna have to run some things, set square corner velocity. Cell 500. Pressure advance factor, tuning tower. And now we need to print the tuning tower, which I need to find it. Go. And of course it decided to crash. Oh, it crashed. Can I switch cameras? There we go. Come on, come back to me. There we go. We're back. Did I see the project somebody booting Windows 11 ARM natively on Android phones? Neat. I have zero need for that, but neat. How's the CNC? Oh, that thing's been shelved since like April. I just haven't. Maybe we'll see if we'll see how the channel goes. Okay, so, but like my DIY CNC, I have a little CNC here we're building on Friday though. So the tuning tower and stretch clipper, pressure advanced setting, blah, blah, blah. The pressure advanced values can be calculated using that. So I need to slice this. What are the settings for this? So high speed, so 100 millimeters, 0 infill, coarse layer height. So I got a 0.4 nozzle, so speeds, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100. Travel speed 300, first layer height. Turn off. Yes, there you go. Okay, so now we are running with accelerations that are turn off auto speed, perimeters, 2 perimeters, solid infill. Top doesn't matter. Do 3 at the bottom, just because we'll do 2. Screw it. People say do vase mode. Every time I try it with vase mode, it always falls apart. 3 layer height. Oh wait, no, that's first layer height. 3, especially with ABS. Flow. Okay, I'm not gonna. Oh, we got tall boy, that's why. 4. Okay. Wait, this is ABS. Where's my ABS profile? Do I have an ABS profile? Discard. Gotta change all this crud. There we go. Okay. Infill. Have I tried the line style? I have not. I always end up using this one. It works. I've never really had issues with it, so I just kind of stick with it. I'm a very if it ain't broke type person. Just ABS. Yeah, that should work because that's 45, 110. Yep. Okay, slice that. Sugar good there, export. So now we need to get our bed hot. Music Dad, thank you for becoming a member. What's the difference between Prusa Slicer and Super Slicer? Super Slicer is a fork of Prusa Slicer, and Prusa Slicer is derived from Slicer, or Slick 3R, as Tom says. But Super Slicer is Prusa Slicer with a lot more options available to the user, and a few tweaks to make it as less training wheels. Prusa Slicer kind of assumes a bunch of things. It assumes you want things done a certain way, kind of. Like extra thick layers when it's doing a bridge, for example. There's a few little quirks to it. Whereas Super Slicer is like, yeah, no training wheels. Here's all the options. Hope you have them set right. Good luck. So. Will there be a Stealth Burner LGX light mount? I'm not 100% sure. I got an LGX light right there, though. Is there a difference between NEMA motors? They have different weight ratings, like for torque, different sizes, and different brands of varying quality. Just get good quality brand ones like OMC, LDO. I don't know what brand the fysetc ones are. They just say fysetc. I highly doubt fysetc makes their own motors. They're probably slapping a label on somebody else's. But they seem okay so far. Honestly, so far with this kit, hardware has not been an issue. Everything hardware-wise with this kit, I've been good with. I haven't really had anything that I've don't like hardware-wise on this kit. There's been some issues with the wiring, but this kit is very much a bomb in a box, right? So if you're buying this kit expecting like an LDO kit quality, where you just kind of have to build it and not have to think too much, this is not that kit. Like you have to do a bunch of wiring for it. You have to, there's stuff you have to do for this kit. There we go. So while that's doing that, let's get our, where did I put my doors at? Quick, somebody go back in the stream. Where did I put the doors? There's the door. My mag sheet is detaching from the bed. Can I re-stick it or should I replace it? Yeah, odds are you're not going to be able to get all the gunk and adhesive off the magnet. You're probably going to have to you just get a new one. Just get a new magnet. Graviflex are good. Was it Fermio Labs has them? Lecter has them, I think. I'm trying to remember. I don't think Namgria's in chat. What size screws I need to put this together? Let me pull up our Discord convo and be like, yo, man. Okay. Oh, geez. Just remember, if you guys ever DM me on like Discord and I don't reply, I get notifications off and I get a lot of messages and they get buried. So I do apologize if I don't reply to you. Let me see here. Ah, dang it, he didn't say. He does not say what size screws I need. I think they are they're not self-tappers. Are they M3s? Yeah, they're M3 button heads, which I don't think I have. I'm gonna have ones with silver. Oh well. Do I even have little ones? No, I do not. Michael, thank you for becoming a member. Oh, wait, let me check. Okay, what do we got in here? We got orbiter guts, a whole bunch of M38s. Looking for little M3 button heads. I hope they're M3s. M38 button heads. There we go. Now the question is, are these M3s? I have my Flex PEI sheet pop off the corners of the rubber magnet sheet due to print warping. Any suggestions? Stronger magnet. That's gonna, these are too long. Crud. This ain't gonna work. Yeah, I need like M3. Yeah, I need shorter ones. Shoot. I need M36 button heads. What is this for? Just got a reminder. If you're a member for every month, you're allowed to like do a super special, hey, I've been a member for this long message. So if you want to send out a super awesome message once a month, consider becoming a member. And then every month you can send out a message that gets highlighted. M3, 6 button heads. There we go. I do have some. Great. A little while ago, I was, if you're curious kind of like how I operate, I have a little acro bin over there full of screws. Right now we're waiting on the bed to heat up, by the way. And I was running a bit low. And instead of just like ordering the screws that I think I need, I just went on AliExpress and bought a V2.4 screw kit. Just so I could restock my acro bin of screws. So I'm like, well, instead of taking an inventory, why don't I just order all the screws I need to build a V2.4? Because then I'll have enough screws to build a V2.4, and all Vorons use the same toolkit. So thought AliExpress screws were super sketchy. Eh, they're good enough. Like, let's be honest, it's a 3D printer. I wouldn't use AliExpress screws if I was building like a super precision CNC where I needed to ensure every screw had literally the amount of could withstand, like had the proper weight rating for exactly what it needs. Otherwise it'll fail. But for a 3D printer, they're good enough. Buy a bunch of I've seen, oh. So people have kind of realized that people who build Vorons are okay with spending a little bit more money on things. The amount of like Gucci stuff people have put out for Voron builds, like titanium screws, is like ridiculous. And don't get me wrong, they're super Gucci looking. But I'm not spending like hundreds of dollars on a screw kit. But people do, apparently. Seems like the support for the normal LGX is really good. Should I get that instead of the light? I haven't put my light into action yet. I am running 3 normal LGXs, and they're all bulletproof. They're tanks. So I really like the LGX. I'm assuming the light will be as good. It uses a more compact motor. Be aware. So you might not get the amount of torque you get out of a regular LGX, but depending on your current printer, it probably is a non-issue. It's like, I have, I posted a picture of the LGX light to my Twitter the other day. I just went like, ooh, small extruder is small or something like that. And a bunch of people were like, oh, how's it compared to the Orbiter? And I'm like, they both push plastic. The LGX light is 20 grams lighter. I don't know, they both work. I don't have either of them in a machine, so I can't really comment on the functionality of them. But from me just looking at them, yeah, they both will work. It depends on your printer. If you're putting them on an Ender 3, it don't matter. Either of them is a complete like upgrade versus the standard Ender 3 extruder. Like, that thing is a piece of junk. But people get along with it just fine, so. Trying to put magnets in things now. Where is my press? There we go. Warwick, thank you for becoming a member. Okay, upload and print. Trident Square Tower. There we go. What do I think about closed loop stepper motors? Let me posit it this way. I haven't had a layer shift due to a skip step from like just the printer. Like I've had layer shifts for me deciding, hey, let's see how high I can crank my acceleration until it fails. Okay, that's caused a layer shift. I've had a layer shift from a print warping to the point where the prints failed, and that hitting the tool head has caused a layer shift, okay? But the print was pretty much ruined at that point anyways. From normal everyday operation, I haven't had a layer shift. So if you have your printer tuned correctly and your motors have the right amps and you have good motors, good quality motors, you got a good controller with good drivers, you're feeding the motors the correct amount of current, they're not overheating, you're not pushing them too hard, you have the accelerations under control and everything, you should not skip steps and lose steps during normal printing operations, okay? If you are, something went wrong, and usually the print is garbage at that point anyways. So what does closed loop steppers buy you at that point? Other than a lighter wallet. What's with Skippy? Skippy's just chilling down there. Do UPSs? At this point, I only have one UPS, and it's only powering this guy, which this is my workhorse. Whenever I'm printing like big plates of parts, this guy is printing it. Pretty much every other printer is just like random prints every now and then. Like, you know, I got the switch wire with the Enraged Rabbit carrot feeder, the V0, Tallboy. They do print stuff occasionally, but like this is the one that prints the most and prints the longest. So this is the only one I've run on an UPS. This is my workhorse printer. What, do you want in here? You want to come say hi? Well, come say hi. Somebody's been bugging at the door. Oh, you want some treats? Oh. You say please? What's a good boy? Take it. See, that's the thing now. He comes in, he gets his treat, and he leaves. At least he's not sitting here begging anymore. Okay, I missed two. Echo 2 Papa 2, 10. Thank you, appreciate it. I'm running an LGX light on the stealth burner. Had a filament tangle in the spool. LGX pulled the filament so tight that it couldn't get the Teflon tube to release. Yeah, it has a ton of torque. Duff 699, doggo. Yes. He is a doggo. So how do these panels work? I got one at the top and one at the bottom, right? Oh no, just one at the top. I want black screws. Where's black screws at? Greg, $10. Thank you, appreciate it. Next stream, you mount the V0 and ERCFA on top of the Trident. I might have to for room. We got printers on printers on printers on printers on printers here. There you go. Yo, dog. I heard you like printers, so we put a printer in your printer so you can print while you print. Which is funny because the V0s fit in a 250, no problem. Luke, $10. Thank you, appreciate it. Doggo can't build without the added dog hair for aesthetics. Well, it's structural integrity, right? Like, doggo hair is a known strength enhancer. So you need that doggo hair. It's a key structural component to any printer. Oh, we're gonna use these ones. Where can I get PA12 doggo? It was a temporary run by the SPCA. Wait, I don't think this will work. Yeah, that won't work. I have to use hammerheads for these. Can you use the Masumi leaf spring? I think you can, but most people don't have those. I have some, and it's literally like an RPG with them, okay? I don't want to use them because they're like so valuable. Like they're for those that don't know, they're expensive T-nuts, but they're very good T-nuts. They got little springs. So what happens is you buy them and then you don't use them because, oh, I'll use them when I really need them, and then you just never end up needing them. So it's like when you play like an RPG or, you know, Resident Evil, and you get the super health potion that revives your entire party, and you save it for the final boss, and then you never end up using it. Because this is going to bug me if I get it wrong. So we got 17 and a half. 17 and a half. Yeah, we're good. Okay, so 17 and a half. I actually eyeballed that pretty dang centered. Yeah, Prusa Slicer is open source. So somebody took Prusa Slicer and made Super Slicer with it, which is based on Prusa Slicer, which is based on Slick 3R, I believe. So. The 270-degree hinge mod. I don't know what that is. I haven't... I'll be honest, I really don't follow a lot of the mods. I tend to just build stock and then just leave it. Like, that's not to say there's some awesome community mods. I just never really dive into them. The only Voron I have with mods on it is my original V0 with a belted Z, which I got to upgrade because I was running an older version of it that has issues. I'm building a 2.4 on the third controller board. What controller boards are you using that are dying that quickly? Oh, that's 16 and a half. I can't read. 17 and a half. 17 and a half, yeah. 16 and a half. 17 and a half. What? Oh, that's 16 and a half, so I gotta drop down to 17. There we go. I forgot how to read a scale. I gotta modify this because right now it's hanging on an angle and it works, but I don't like quite trust it. I gotta drop a few. I've already hacked it once. Man, I could feel the heat coming off that bed. Hot. How does Toasty Boy get? It's sitting around those temperatures. I need to do some mods to Toasty to get a little bit hotter in there, but I'm having no issues printing any of the materials I want to print with it at the moment, so it's not a super high priority for me right now. Okay, so I gotta put some VHB on these. Spiders, yeah. That's the crappy thing with Spider is the Spider is a good board if you get one that works. But so many people have had issues with them, I just can't really recommend them. Now, I know they had issues with the first gens, and I believe they fixed most of the issues. Like, I'm hoping they fixed all the issues. This has a spider in it. But, that's the thing, like, it's a 32-bit board with TMC 2209s. As long as it works, it'll be a good board. It just has to work. And unfortunately, they're not working. Do I have any issues with PLA printing with the door open on overhangs? Not really. No, you can put the magnets in right now. You can put the magnets in. Any secret to printing hinges? No. I just use my regular profile and hit print, and they've always come out okay. For those that don't know, I'm using Doc's PIF profile, basically. And it's pretty much unmodified. Actually, I run it a little bit slower than he does. And by a little bit, I mean like 20 millimeters a second slower on some things. It's a Spider 2.2. It's these ones that you have to put the magnet in before you attach them. Yeah, that's good. So I gotta make some room here. Where is it? There it is. Okay. So that goes there and that goes there. Good old VHB tape. The bomb is generated. Yeah, for those that don't know, if you look at the website and you're curious on how much of what you should order, the sourcing guide is pretty much where to find the things. But when it comes to how much of the things do I buy, go with what your configurator says. Because the configurator will spit out numbers based on the size and the model of the printer. So if you want to build a 2.4 300, it'll spit out how many screws you need for a 2.4 300. Don't use the sourcing guide for numbers. Use the sourcing guide for just locating things. Trying to donate, but total noob to this live shit. There's below where you type, there's like a smiley face icon for emojis and whatnot. Next to it's one with the $sign. That's the donate button. I'm too dumb to source my parts. That's why people make kits now. Just be aware the kit is just everything in the box for most of them. So you're going to have to go ahead and source your own, or you're still going to have to build it yourself. Still have yet to figure out a macro to heat soak. You could tell it to wait. I believe there's G-code for it, or just do what I do and just manually heat soak and just... Usually what I'll do is if I know I'm going to print something, I'll connect to the printer. I'll heat up the bed, and then I'll just let it heat up while I, load the model, slice it, save it, get it ready to go. And then once it's ready to go, then I'll export it, and then load it. And then by then, usually it's been enough of a heat soak. I don't heat soak as long as I used to. And it's not really... I haven't really had too many issues. Just afraid to buy shit. Well, you shouldn't be afraid. Okay, so that is that door. So we'll do that one after. So I gotta turn the printer around to get to the other door. So normally I heat soak now. Here's my thing. I have my beds PWM'd quite low. So it takes 5 minutes for them to get to temperature. But that means usually by the time they're at temperature, I can pretty much go ahead and print. Usually I'm okay at that point. My first layer might be a little bit smushed more than normal, but usually the fact that it takes so long for my beds to heat up is normally okay at that point. Except for Toasty. Toasty, I keep my bed at 100. Toasty is my oh shit, I need something printed quick printer, where I will literally slice something and just hit upload and print, and the bed PWM 100, it just sends it. And it works pretty good, but it's a smaller printer, right? It's a 250. It's a smaller bed, it's a thick bed. And it doesn't get as much use as my other printer, so I'm hoping it doesn't taco. But Toasty is my, oh shit, I need this printed right now, upload print printer. Okay. How do you get drag chains to lay flat? How to zip tie the first joint? It just depends how they're mounted and what brand of drag chain they are. Some have, depending on the manufacturing, they might not lay down flat. I guess do. Some of the China ones do. It's really hit and miss when you buy China ones. Jeff B, $10. Figured it out. Thank you for the vids. Appreciate it, man. I'm hoping the vids helped. That's why I do them. Can you please educate me on the purpose of heat soaking? What are the downsides of not doing it? Okay, so the reason you heat soak, metal expands when it gets hot. It's simple as that. Especially on enclosed printers, the printer heats up, things move. If you put an indicator on the top of your printer and heat the bed to 100 and just watch it over an hour, your printer will grow 0.1, 0.2 millimeters, okay? Now, what that means is everything kind of grows in relation to each other. Different metals expand at different rates, right? Your extrusions expand different than your rails. That's why some people put backers on them. The bed is a big one. Your heater's on the bottom of the bed. The heat soaks through the bed to the top, and for a while it's not really fully cooked through. It takes time for it. So by heat soaking, you basically let things normalize and get to a stable position, and then you start your print. So what that means is, in theory, by heat soaking, you should have less issues with inconsistent first layers and less issues with things not being accurate for those first couple layers, because you've given time for the printer to kind of find its natural position, essentially, right? It's like your car, right? In the winter, you shouldn't jump in your car, turn it on, and immediately go. If it's like -20 out, you should turn your car on, let things warm up, and then go. So think of it kind of like that. Oh, and the inductive probe, yeah. So if you're running an inductive probe, with inductive probes, they, okay, so that goes like that. So with inductive probes, which that's what the stock probe on a Voron is, it's an inductive probe, it suffers from temperature drift, okay? So what that means is they will always, usually they are always accurate, okay? Okay, so what that means is if you do your probe accuracy tests 10 times at room temperature, and then you do it again 10 times at 100 degrees, they will be accurate within their temperature, but the reading that you get at room temperature and the reading that you get at 100 degrees will be different, okay? So to get around that, you heat soak the printer, so that way your probe isn't heating up anymore as you're probing the bed. Because if your probe is heating up as you're probing the bed, you're going to get different values, right? So if you read this point, and then by the time it comes around again, it's heated up 10 degrees, well, you're going to get a different reading here. You know, nothing moved. It's just the probe is different. So by letting it heat up, you give it a chance to normalize. I'll move that over. Okay, LDO Motors, Jason, $49.99. Appreciate it. Happy Lunar New Year, Nero 3D, and all the Voron friends. Be Tiger this year. Happy, healthy, wealthy, strong to all you guys. Appreciate it. Oh, yeah, Year of the Tiger. I think I'm, yeah, Dragon. I think I was born in Year of Dragon. Thank you, Jason. Happy New Year to you, too. B-roll, $20. Appreciate it. Hey, got an SKR Pico during the pre-release, but I didn't say that I only ran Clipper. I have a Sidewinder. I have it at disability, so Clipper is out. I'm not in a rush. Thanks for the awesome channel. Cheers, Brett. Yeah, so it only runs Clipper. I know the Marlin guys are working on getting Marlin adapted to it, but they pretty much have to do a bunch of like back-end coding for it to make it supported. And I don't know how long that will take. So at this time, it's pretty much a Clipper only board, unfortunately. Oh, I got these backwards. I gotta flip them around. But if you pair it up, like if you have a, you can pair it up with a any Raspberry Pi, even a Raspberry Pi Zero, even the cheap one without a webcam, and you can run Clipper. You don't need to go and get like a full-size Raspberry Pi. Like I'm gonna be on my V Minion, I'm gonna use one. I'm pairing it up with a Raspberry Pi Zero 2. Derek, 50, appreciate it. Nero, thanks for the content. Controversial question. Isn't heat soaking a fire hazard? After all, modern firmware shut the bed down in the hot end after some idle time. What do you think? My printers are set up. I have it in my firmware where after 30 minutes, the bed turns off if it's idle, okay? So have that set so that if you go to heat soak something and then you forget and you go to work, your printer isn't sitting. But here's the thing. Right now, this bed's at 110 degrees. Does it matter if the tool head's moving around or not? Like, it knows it's printing, so it's not going to turn off. But in Clipper, you can set it to timeout, and mine, I have it set for 30 minutes. So after 30 minutes, the bed shuts down if I don't start a print. But if it's sitting there and not printing, or sitting there and printing, what difference does it make in terms of the machine? Like, the bed's 100 degrees now. Does it matter if the tool head's moving around or not? Is there any difference in safety at that point? And the reason it's Clipper only has to do with the fact that it's an RP2040 powering it. The RP2040 at this time is pretty much Clipper only until the Marlin guys figure out how to get Marlin running on it. And the reason they went with the RP2040 is due to the chip shortage. It's hard to get chips for a lot of boards right now. Like the STM32s are like an absolute pain to find right now. So it kind of makes sense that they're using it because it's in stock. That's why they're using it. Nope. Ah, my magnets. So yeah, they went with the 2040 because they can get 2040s. That's why. Why not an ESP? Can they get ESPs? It depends on how many pins too. The problem with the 2040 is, if you watch my video on it, I mention it, but the 2040 only has so many pins available. You cannot power an Octopus with an RP2040. The SKR Pico pretty much maxes it out in terms of connections. It's like a Raspberry Pi. You can run a printer off of just a Raspberry Pi, but you only have the 40 pins GPIO availability. And once you break that down to what you can actually hook up to a printer, and what a printer needs and how many pins, you are very limited. Like you can run, I think you can do four stepper motors, like 1 or 2 thermistors, and like 3 end stops, and like that's it. And then also you're limited because you would think a Raspberry Pi would be quick for running Clipper. It's got a quad core, but once you factor in the fact that it has to also run Clipper and everything else, it actually runs like not the greatest. It runs like a blue pill, an S32 blue pill. If you look on the Clipper website, it has a breakdown of how like strong it is and whatnot. Oh, I put that in backwards. Well. Yeah, that works. Okay. Steven, $5. Appreciate it. I'm thinking of adding M84 to my NG code to kill the hold hum. Thoughts? You can do that. I can't remember. I don't think mine does. I think some of my printers have it. I'm not 100% sure. The problem is I'm really bad with keeping things up to date. So like my G code for like start and end on a lot of my printers is different because I just kind of set it up independently each time. Or if there's like a default, I'll run that. Ooh, that's hot. That bed is hot. So I'm running the wrong magnet there. I gotta flip that around. Somebody convinced me I don't need a resin printer. The other day, I made a mistake, and my resin vat, or my ISO vat that I use for cleaning my prints on my resin printer, I left it on this bench right here. This window right here has a small crack at the top where sunlight gets in. And I had sunlight hit that vat for a couple minutes on one morning. I came down. All the resin that was in that vat was floating around up in the air. And I had to take the 3 liters of ISO, separate it out, strain it all, clean the vat because I had resin cured to the inside. I had to scrub it all down. It was an absolute pain in the butt. But you can print super awesome clean prints like this. So, do you want to print high quality detail models and deal with stuff that's a pain in the butt? Or you just want to stick with FDM? The choice is yours. It really depends on, do you need a resin printer? It's harder to justify a resin printer than an FDM printer, but the outcome of a resin printer is so good that if you can justify it, it's worth it. So like, for example, do you like printing minis? Do you like painting minis? Do you like Warhammer and you don't play at like Games Workshop conventions where you need to have legit models because Games Workshop models are expensive as all hell and you just want to print your own models? Do you like D&D? You want to print your own tabletop models? Or you just like high quality, high detail prints? Then yes, you can justify a resin printer. But if it's just kind of like, you know what, I don't know if I really want one. I just think some of the prints are cool looking. Maybe I want one. It's a lot harder to justify at that point. Why don't you want to stick? There, right there. Yeah, that'll work. Yeah, everyone needs FDM resin and a laser. No, that's hard to justify, man. That is a hard argument to. I will say, if you don't have any printer, get an FDM printer, okay? And then, if you think you need a resin, print the things that you need a resin printer for on an FDM that you think you will be using for your resin printer. If you can print them on FDM just fine, don't bother with resin. There we go. But basically, you have to really justify a resin printer to get a resin printer, in my opinion. It's not a whim purchase like a normal printer, in my opinion. And then lasers, even harder because of the safety issues. I'm a big proponent. I won't buy a laser, or I've had companies contact me wanting to send me lasers. I won't touch them unless they come with an enclosure. Okay? Like a full enclosure. Sending a pair of really crappy glasses that are green and having like a little itty bitty shroud around the laser itself isn't an enclosure, because things can reflect. Okay? Something can happen where that laser can suddenly point at your eye, and if it happens to do that, or somebody in the room, you're blind. Okay? These lasers can blind you. So, I won't touch them. I won't review them unless it has a full enclosure. Now, I do have a laser. That, the CNC that I have, the Robo, it's on the box here. Let me pull it up here. Where is it? Mini Robo. This guy. So I have this. This is what they sent me. Okay. Now when we were setting everything up, they were just going to send me the machine, and it's just a little 3018 style machine. The bed, this one, the gantry moves. So I'm hoping I can have some fun modding this one. But after they sent it to me, they're like, oh, by the way, we sent the laser with it. So it has a 5-watt laser that clips onto the front of it. Okay. Now, yeah, it just clips onto the front. Just a 5-watt laser that clips onto the front. Will I review the laser? I don't know. I might use it kind of as an off-stream thing, just kind of because I have it. I might as well use it. But I don't endorse those kind of lasers. I think there's safety issues with them. So I might put it in a wooden box with like a panel or something to see it. I don't know. I'll figure something out. But yeah. Ooh, bunch of chat going on. Do not look at laser with remaining eye. Yes. Let me see here. Why is everyone adding Jason? Did I miss something? LDO motors we work on. Subkit. Subkit for what? Like an like a electronic subkit? Oh, that would be cool. I missed some chat there. Use it to tase the cats. I don't have cats. I have a doggo. And don't shoot cats with lasers. Although one thing I do want to try, because it's just an interesting idea, and it's a safety thing, and you know, every now and then people post things that you're like, wait, is that a real thing? What was it? Naomi Wu on Twitter was mentioning, you know, lasers start house fires very easily, and you can't prove that. And it's like, you can just drive by somebody's house with a laser and just shine it through the window, and a 10-watt laser will be enough to light a house, something on fire in a house through a window from outside, and you can never prove that. And I'm like, dude, that's scary. So part of me wants to try that, but that's a 5-watt that I have. But let's be honest, diode lasers, you can never really trust what they say in terms of output. That's one thing. If I do go, like right now I'm just trying the full-time thing, and it's basically I'm just gonna be doing my regular content, just more of it, more streams and whatnot, because I really like streaming. But if I do go full-time, I'll obviously be doing stuff other than 3D printing. So Naomi's slowly becoming a supervillain. You know what? I disagree with her on certain things. If everyone agreed with everything, the world would be a very boring place, okay? So yes, there are things that I disagree about what she believes in and whatnot, but there are things that I agree with her with. I'm not going into particulars about which one's which, but she does. I like her content. Like, you can disagree with somebody on some levels of certain things, and you can still like what they put out. You can still like their content. Is that on right? Okay, that one's good. Oh, you already got the bot. Okay. I'm building a laser right now, but I completely agree with you. I'm sure I will blind myself in good time. Don't blind yourself. You need your eyes to see. You can't watch my videos if you're blind, okay? Like, I know I try to talk a lot in them to keep you guys entertained, but if you're blind, you're not going to get the full Nero 3D experience. Probably not a good idea to be doing, like, input shaper or pressure advanced tuning while building an enclosure. KV3D, hello. Okay, let's put this guy on. Try and get off some of the dog hair. Line that up. Rep up, thank you for becoming a member. There we go. So it does look a little weird because I have clear side panels and then the front is ABS, but it works. It works. I like it. Dustin, $10, appreciate it. Calling bullshit. I have a diode and the focal area is very specific in setting a house on fire, especially in a moving car. Well, she didn't say moving car. She just said a 10-watt laser. And I'm assuming you could adjust the focal at some point. That's what scares me. Like, as somebody, okay, how do I put this? I am former Canadian Forces Reserves. I spent 6 years in, from 2008 to 2014. I have done security training for, like, riot scenarios. Lasers scare the crap out of me because all it takes is some guy with a high-powered laser and you're blind. Like, that was one of the things that scared the crap out of me during that training was you're just standing there and then somebody hits your eyes with a high-power laser and you're done. You're blind. Like, ugh. I don't like lasers. Lasers are like magnets, okay? At work, we use magnets to pick up, like, chunks of metal that don't have eye bolts in it and you can't get a strap on it. So you just pick it up with a magnet. And magnets, we have magnets that are good like to 10,000 pounds. So you're just picking up a 10,000 pound block of steel with an electromagnet. It's voodoo, man. It's... Ugh. What does becoming a member mean? I don't like gatekeeping content behind a paywall, okay? So what that means is if you become a member, you're supporting my channel. The different tiers are basically how much you wish to support. It's a monthly contribution. There is no difference among the tiers, okay? It's literally how much you want to support. I set a $2 minimum because I believe, you know, I was going to come up with a fancy, like, Toonie donation thing, but I just called it Benchy. I need to rename some of them because, like, full plate ABS is kind of weird. But that's what happens when you set everything up at, like, 2 a.m. But it's basically you're supporting the channel directly. It's a regular monthly contribution. It's like 2, 5, and 15. And every month I do a members only live QA and chill stream just for members. And then a month later I put it public. I hate putting stuff behind it. I hate gatekeeping stuff. Laser doesn't have to be very powerful to blind you if it's aimed at you. Exactly. That's why, like, you see the video of the protesters shooting lasers at riot cops and whatnot. Like, that can blind somebody for life. Like, no. Hitting airline plat. Yeah, people do that. That's dumb. Like, they use the lasers that you use for, like, pointing out stars and whatnot. Like, ugh. Yeah, no. Yeah, the eye is designed to focus light on a small point. If it wasn't for the pesky lens in front of the eyeball, I'd be uncomfortable. Well, yeah, that's right. Like, part of your eyes... This actually looks really good with these panels. Like... Actually looks really good. Let me share this picture so we can share this picture. It's funny when it's easier for me, instead of plugging my phone into a computer to get a picture off of it, I just upload it to Discord, like a random channel in Discord, and then just open it there and save it. Like, it's funny how often I use that to take files from my phone and put them on my computer. I just upload them to Discord. Okay, so yeah, I don't know, that looks pretty cool. I think I like that. A little bit of mix and match with the outside because I'm running low on the ABS, or the orange ASA, so I have some natural ASA for a lot of the clips. But I like that. That looks cool. Steve's here. Steve a mod here already? Have I made him a mod? Yeah. Need to make a few more people mods just because of the amount of bots. I gotta set up the Stream Elements bot to ban those automatically. Any benefits of the blacked out panels? They fit. The panels that came with this kit, so this kit came with acrylic panels for the sides, and then the back panel, the bottom, several of the acrylic panels, like the black acrylic panels, like the deck, which, if you don't know, the deck is this panel right here. The deck, the doors were undersized, okay? They literally were for a 300s build. This is a 350. So Nemgria at MN Laser Cutting, link in the description because they hooked me up. He rushed me some ABS panels because he has a laser cutting and he cuts ABS panels for Voron kits. So he rushed me some panels, and since he does acrylic, or since he cuts ABS, that's why these are ABS, because that's what he does. And then he cut little windows in them so that I could put, like, so you could see it. You know, I could just look in through the side, but these actually look kind of cool. Nalby2, thank you for becoming a member. Echo2 Papa2, happy to help out if you want to make a mod. I'm basically trying to keep an eye on people who are in all the streams. No offense, I don't know if you're in the weekday streams. I'm trying to see who's on all the time. You know you're all on all the time. There you go, MN Laser Cutting. So we can end this print because it's already gone to poo-poo. So pause. Cancel print. Ooh, that's hot. So let me retract 5 millimeters of filament. There we go. Is it difficult to cut acrylic plexi on your own? It depends. It really depends on, for acrylic, you have to score it and snap it. I've done it before to varying degrees of success. For example, on Tallboy here, you may notice that the front panel sits a little bit higher up. That is because that's how big the sheet from Home Depot came, and I'm just rolling with it because if I try to cut that, I know I'm going to break it. So we're just kind of rolling with it. Oh, and by the way, because people kept commenting, you know how my printers have names? So, for example, we got Tall Boy, Toasty Boy. Well, V226 is still V226 because it's beyond older. We got Yukon. Switchwire is Kenny, by the way, for those that don't know, because the front fan shroud is orange, and with the stealth burner, it kind of looks like Kenny. So Switchwire is Kenny now. So this one, because people kept saying it looks like a Prusa because it is orange and white, it's Prusa colors. This one is Papa Joey P. That's what this printer is called, by the way. So for those curious what I decided on a name for the Trident, it's Papa Joey P. Actually, no, we got to change that. We got to change that. That ain't gonna work. 1 second here. There you go. Big Papa Joey P. There you go. So that is what we decided. That's what I decided on for Trident, because it looks like a Prusa, and it is Prusament ASA. It's Big Papa Joey P. So. Vrusa. It's a Vrusa. I'm actually really looking forward to the XL. I really want to try a Prusa out. Like, I would love to get my hands on a mini. It's very hard for me to justify a mini because it would just be straight up channel content. I don't need a Prusa mini. I don't need any more printers at this point, let's be honest. But any printer I do now is pretty much for the channel. XL is something I want, but like a Prusa mini is something I want to play with. I want to build it just so I don't have a Prusa, and I recommend the Prusa mini to people because it's a very good entry-level printer, but I've never had experience with it. I've only ever seen a Prusa like at one place. And that was the filament manufacturer that's local, because they do they have a print farm, a small print farm for local printing. I've gone and seen their print farm, and they have Prusas, and they're like, hey, that's the first time I've seen a Prusa, and that was like 6 months ago. So I need a VZ bot. Do you have a small VZ bot? Do you make a small one? I'm all on the small printer train right now because I have enough big printers. It's like people keep asking me to do a V-Core. I don't need another large Core XY. It's probably a fine printer, but it's just another large Core XY to me. The V Minion is something cool and different and small. That's cool. And he laughs. He's at 235. Hit me up after stream. We'll figure something out. But I do want to move into non-Voron builds. I obviously I will still keep doing Vorons. I have 7 of them already. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7. And then I'll be building an 8th. Yeah, so I'll have 8 Vorons once I build the other V2. Because that V0 is going away. I'm not even going to serialize it. I'm just going to send it out. Just so whoever wins it. Okay, so for those that have never done input shaping or pressure advance, you basically measure where the corner looks good. So if you're looking at it, let me find the good corner. Yeah. So if you look at it, focus. Now, if you look at the corner, it goes from like bulged to sharp to falling apart. And you want to find the spot where it looks the cleanest, and then use that to figure out your PA value. So in my case, it's around 12 millimeters. Yeah, 12 millimeters. And then you do math. So in my case, it would be 12 times, because we did the small value, 0.005. So my PA value would be 6. So that's 12 millimeters times 0.005 is 0.06. So we go here, you go to your config, you find pressure advance. .06. And then save and restart. There you go. And that is it. Where do you measure? So when you're looking at it, let me pull this camera up. Boom, boom. You have to look. It's a visual thing. You have to look at the corner. What basically goes from bulged, from too low pressure advance. So that's where you get bulged corners. And when you get too much pressure advance, you see here the print falls apart. So you basically have to measure from the bottom up, because part of the script that you do when you're setting up pressure advance before you do the print, you put in these commands here. And what these commands do is it locks your acceleration to a constant value, and then it changes how much pressure advance every layer by 0.005, or every 0.005 it changes, or whatever. Yeah, it changes 0.005 value every layer or something like that, or every millimeter or something. It does math. It changes it as you print taller. It changes the value. So you can look at the print and you basically find the spot where the corner is no longer bulged and it hasn't fallen apart yet. And you kind of look in the middle and you look for the cleanest corner and you measure up from the bottom until you find the spot, and you're like, okay, so it's like right about there. And you're like, okay, 11.45 or whatever it is. I like to err on the side of caution. And it's like, what does it say? If, when it comes to measuring, it recommends to go under, I think. Should be between 0.05 and 1. But basically, if err under. So if you think you're measuring too high, if it's a range, use the lower value. So let's turn the printer off because I need to tune my belts. These belts are really loose. So let me tighten these belts up, and then we got to figure out how to put a camera in this guy. Okay, one full rotation. To the front. Ooh, this guy's hot. Okay, good. We're still squared up. So now we're gonna have to do a little playing around, okay? Because I put these doors on, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna hit these doors. So I'm gonna go through now and I'm gonna play with my XY values. I never set it up. I still have it set so like the default values with 0, 0, but 0, 0 might not be on the bed. Like, you have to set up so that your 0, 0 is on the bed. And depending on how you build your printer, because they're all, you know, kits and whatnot, and things kind of move, you might not have that. So you may have to play with your XY values. So let's see right now. X0, Y0. So what I'm worried about is because I got these panels that sit inward, I might hit the door with the tool head. Ooh, I don't. Oh, I'm good. I'm good. Okay. And I am on the bed. Okay. I'm actually really lucky there. So 0, 0 is on the bed. Okay, we're good. Now what about G1, X 350, Y 350? Which should be good. I should still be on the bed. We might be good. So it should just basically activate both end stops. So we're actually a little off the bed. So we actually only have about 340 of Y. I could play around with that, but I'm not going to bother. 350 by 350 is more than enough. Way more than enough. So here's the funny thing. The printer is metric, okay? So it's a 350 bed, or a 300 by 300, or 250 by 250. The funny thing is, if you look at the CAD, the printer, I don't know if the CAD actually shows it. Shut down. The actual bed is a inch bed. So that's why you have a little bit of extra wiggle room. Is the beds are actually meant to be inches because North America. So the beds are actually 254 or 355 or what is it, 305 or 356 or something like that. They're actually metric beds. Or inch beds. They're 10, 12, and 14 inches. Yeah, 304. Yeah, because it's a 12-inch bed, and metric and inch are not the same. So webcams, I have this guy here. I'm gonna try and run a ribbon cable up because I don't have any spare USB webcams. So I'm gonna try and run a ribbon cable webcam up. Let's see if we have enough room for this guy. All the FEC or whatever these cables are called. What cam is it? It's a Raspberry Pi Cam B2.2. So I don't know where I'm going to mount this. I'm thinking do the same thing I did with Toasty and just VHB it to the back panel somewhere. Because I don't know what the field of view is on this guy. So let's flip this on its side here and see what we have. Because I need to get a camera in here so that I can put it over there so that we can print something. Let me get the filament out. By the way, on most hot ends, if you run a 5mm retract at the end of your print, that's actually enough that you could pull the filament out without having to heat it back up again. So all my scripts for finishing a print, I do a 5mm retract. That's enough to pull it out of the hot part, and you could just pull the filament out at a later date. So if you like come back to your printer later and you want to print a different color, you don't need to like heat the hot end up so you can pull the filament out. You can just pull it out because it's already been pulled out. And then at the start of the print, I do a really big purge line, and then I always run a skirt. Okay, so that way that's usually enough to get the old filament out. So that way I don't have to do like a purge when I start a new print. I got no room on my shelf. How do I not have enough room on the filament shelf for filament? I love when those click. Put a USB cam on top looking through the plexi. That's how I do it on Tallboy. So my super awesome webcam setup on Tallboy is literally a webcam just kind of chilling, pointing straight down. Like it's, let me pull it up here. I think it's on. Yeah. Yeah, the Tallboy webcam is literally just a webcam just pointing straight down on the printer. Endoscope. The thing with the endoscope cams, okay? Everyone likes them. They look really cool, but you can't watch the whole print. Okay? You can see the nozzle, but it's hard to judge. You can't just look over and see if something's warping up. So if you're doing a full plate print, you can only see what the nozzle sees at that very moment. So if you're trying to monitor a print, the endoscope cams aren't cool. If you just want really cool footage of really close upness and you want to just like judge that, that's cool. But you can't monitor a whole print easily with the endoscope cam. Who makes the carbon fiber? That is Fabrico. He made a whole batch of custom beds for me with my logo, and I haven't gotten around, or I don't know if he's actually has them for sale yet. Yeah, this is the stock door. This is the stock door. Normally it's just acrylic, but they sent me like normally it's clear acrylic, but they sent me the wrong sizes. So these are ABS. On Toasty, I have them made out of ACM, but it's the same thing. I'm gonna do 2 webcams. I don't have anything for the endoscope cam. Plus, again, built stock for now. So now comes the part where it's like, oh man, these are getting heavy. Don't break anything, don't break anything, don't break anything, don't break anything. Okay. Okay, now I gotta plug in. Oh shoot, I can never remember which way these stupid things plug in on a Raspberry Pi. They go in towards the white part, I think. I think the connector is towards the white part, I think. Or does it go the other way? Oh, that's display I need. Camera. Contacts. Yeah, the contacts are on the white. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. And then let's plug this in. So I'm going to try this because I have one dead camera and I don't know which one it is. So I'm just going to plug it in first and see what kind of view we get. And then I'll put it into the printer. So plug it in, turn it on, see what we got. On. Well, hopefully there's not supposed to be an LED on here. Find out in a minute. Connecting. Hey, it's me. Hello there. Okay, so for those that don't know, on the newest versions of like Mainsail, and I think Fluid 2, your webcam is an editable text file in the UI, so you don't need to go and like change it all. So where is the resolution at? Yeah, 640. Okay, so I'll change that USB option. So we're going. Can I do 1920 by 1080 on this guy? F. Let's do 15 FPS. Save and restart. There we go. More than enough. Can we do higher? I normally don't run 30. It usually never sits, but let's try 30. Let's try 30. We do have a Pi 4 in here. Yeah, see, it's still sitting around 15. It does jump up, but yeah, the camera seems to be limited to 15. Hello there. So yeah, so let's go ahead and just limit it to 15. That seems to be all I can do. Where is it? Save and restart. Yeah, and then it drops, yeah. See, yeah, this is the camera that's kind of borked. I can't do 1080p. 1280 by 720 at 20 FPS. Oh, did I lose you guys? Did I lose the stream? No? No. There we go. This'll work. Okay, so now I gotta feed this cable up and into the printer. So it's dark because of the thing. So shut down and turn the printer off. AliExpress sells 4K camera boards. Ooh. Let's change the music. Let's go to something a little bit Stream beats. Medium. So do I want to run it inside the printer? I'll run it inside the printer and then we'll just kind of fiddle with it. Don't crush the accelerometer. Ugh, there we go. Okay, open the doors. Then, oh, I'm gonna have to move that out. Yeah, I'm gonna have to move that out. Okay, let me flip it back up. That can kind of tuck under there. That'll work. That'll work. Okay, now flip it up. Ugh. Don't break anything. Don't break anything. Why does it get so heavy? There we go. Lost panel. Okay. So this would be a lot easier if I didn't have the panels on, that's for sure. But it's too late for that now. Let's try not to hit the really hot bed. Okay, so put a chunk of VHB on the back, because good old VHB solves all our problems. Bed hinge mod, just saying. I'll take a look into it. Well, bed hinge mod, that won't do anything on a Trident, I don't think. Ran it on the outside. I could do that. Yeah, I could run it on the outside and then just have it come in, but then it's on the outside. Yeah. You know what? Let's run it on the outside. Let's run it on the outside, because then I can just have it come in through the slot in the back. And then I just invert the camera. Is that gray VHB? It's black VHB. Okay, so let's run this in the back. Come on. We got the whole weight of the printer on one hand. There we go. Ow, ow, ow. There we go. And then that would come in like that. And then I could just bring you in. Can I bring it to the bottom? No. Okay, so I gotta bring it to the top here. And this is going to be a pain to work with because I don't have the top off. Ooh. Printer's heavy. Okay, so let's turn it on and see what kind of position we get. I don't think there's anything on the back that can short. No. Okay, so we're good there. Well, more like just a high. It didn't. I'm not bleeding. It just crushed that little area of skin. So, go off the back of it. This bed is still hot. Okay, so let's see what kind of view do we got. Try again, connect. Oh, that works perfect. One second. Camera. Need to clean it. ISO, where's my ISO? Thoughts on Teflon black coated lead screws? Are they gonna look bad? The kit, the V0 kit that we're building, the Lecter one has one. They look cool. Self-lubricating, so you don't need grease on them. They're kind of a nice little upgrade. You don't really need one, but if you have the option to get them at a reasonable price, I say go for it. So there we go. There's our webcam. Can I break that out separate? Copy that. There's the webcam. So it should be upside down. It's not upside down on this, but it's upside down in the UI. So it's upside down. That works. That's enough to watch a print. How long is it? It should last a while. It's Teflon, and usually they come with a black a palm screw, or a palm nut. So you should be okay. Okay, so now comes the part where I hook this guy back up in. We move the printer to its home, and we rerun Input Shaper, and hopefully it's not too big of a difference. So. Turn that off, shut down. Turn that off. Where's that long screw? And then we'll get some filament loaded up in it, and we'll print some ABS. What time is it? We're almost done the stream anyways. Okay, so that can go there. Throw that in there. Close one door. Close the other door just to keep it all together. So I had one of these fall off. Where did this fall off from? The other side. So unplug the printer. ERCFA review. I got to do a video on it. I will be doing a video on it. There will be a video on it. I just got to sit down and do it. Tight before we go. And then I gotta clear off the desk. Now it's room making time. Exactly. That's good there. Okay, so this little vase I've had floating around since forever. I gotta find an actual home for it at some point. V0, you can go here. Box of thing. Well, T-Rex skull, you can go up here. There you go. Delta, you're a table now. Okay, so I got my plug here. This plugs into the UPS. So we should be good to go now. So I got to figure out how to get it on there and plug it in. That's going to be fun. V0. Oh yeah. V0s are like tiny. Okay. Oh, wrong way around. Okay, I gotta figure out how to plug it in now. Is it on? It's on. Okay. There we go. Oh, sorry guys. All that, you didn't really get to see that. There we go. Vorons. Put on top of V226. Well, actually, V226 would be going on top of this. There we go. Okay, so try again. So there's our view. Home all. And then we got to rerun input shaper. Jokernut, $10. What are you using and how many printers do you have to plug into the UPS? So right now for the UPS, I just have, it's a APC VA1 or VA 1500. It's from Costco. So if it doesn't work, I can always just get a new one because Costco. Shaper, calibrate. And right now, the only printer is hooked up to it. For the longest time, it was just this guy. Because I used to have a 1000. I'm hoping a 1500 is enough to power to run both of these at the same time. I'm not 100% sure though. We'll see. But basically, normally I only have this one plugged into the UPS because this is the one I do my long prints of like parts on. This is my parts printer. I'm hoping to add this so I have 2 parts printers. All of them I've printed parts on all of them. All the natural ASA parts on Toasty were printed on Toasty. So it's not like I have to use this printer for printing my ABS parts. It's just that is my printer that I use for printing ABS parts. They all can do it. All the enclosed ones at least. But a 350 by 350 by 250 that's fully enclosed, this will probably be a great one for parts in the future too. So another bot. Report, spam, report, goodbye. Yeah, so this will be what I'm going to use it for. This will be parts printer number 2. I got the yellow loaded because we're going to go start printing some V-Minion parts. But this will be parts... That moves. This will be parts printer number 2. And then at some point, I may mod it to an IDEX. Clicky mod next week. No, I'm going to run this stock for a while. I got to run it stock for a while so I can do a video on the kit. So the plan is I'm going to print like all the parts for a V-Minion on it. And then maybe a few other knickknacks and whatnot. And then at that point, I'll be able, because I got to start printing stuff for V2.4 R2, and I got to start printing stuff for a Micron too. So basically what I'm going to do is have both of these running at the same time and just have different filaments. So one will print main parts, one will print accent parts type thing. I might use this guy for accents because it's smaller. Clicky mod next week. No. So Tuesday, we're going to carry on with the little guy here. See how far we get with that. I have a Kirimoto bed on the way, hopefully, or a Kirigami bed on the way. Hopefully it shows up in time. And then we'll finish this up. And then I think if it shows up in time, it will be the Micron will be next, and then the Minion. And then I think 2.4 R2. So next week we'll do a stream Tuesday around 10 a.m. Eastern. So all the Europeans should be able to tune in for that, no problem. And those that aren't working or work from home or work afternoons or can watch at work can watch too. And then Friday, probably a little later in the day, maybe like 2 in the afternoon my time, we'll do the CNC machine, which that will just be a regular unbox, setup, and do like the test carving of it or something like that. What do I plan to do with after all my printers? After I'm finished, will you make a business of it? At this point, well, this is kind of my job right now. So, what does Joel do with all his printers? They use them for content. I might start selling stuff like on the side, kind of locally. We'll see. The problem is there's actually a lot of rules. If you want to do it properly, there's a lot of rules you have to follow when it comes to selling prints. Like if you can't just like, I know a lot of people just sell stuff they find on Thingiverse for like memes and whatnot, but a lot of them have like Creative Commons non-commercial licenses attached, and people break those rules all the time. So I don't know. We'll see. Because the problem is like I do everything in this room, so if I'm recording a video, I can't really have any of the printers running. So Neuroswag, I need to get on with commercial. I need merchandise. I need to start actually capitalizing on only benchies. Is it possible to use the filament sensor on the ERC on a stealth burner with LGX? Not yet. Once the beta is finalized, the final revision should have support for it. But because so much is changing in beta right now, it's kind of like not something that is being looked at. What you can do though, because the you could still use, like, this is a stealth burner. I am using a stealth burner in here with an LGX with the clicky, with the ERCFA sensor. Actually, now that I think about it, I gotta put the tool head back together on this guy. I keep forgetting to. Where are you? There you are. Oh, dang it, I dropped my Revo. Yeah, so the value looked pretty much the same. But you can't use Clockwork 2, I don't think right now. Clockwork 2 won't work. So if you're using another extruder, you can use the ERCFA with Stealth Burner, because the Stealth Burner is just the front part, remember that. I love how easy it is to change stuff out on a Revo. You just unscrew it and screw it back together and you're done. What is the legality of a rando asking to print? So if, like, you know, your buddy's like, hey, I found this cool model, can you print it for me? And you look at it on Thingiverse and it's got a, you know, a non-commercial license, and you print it and give it to him and he pays you for it. If he's paying for you to print it, you're technically violating the license. Now, does that mean, you know, knock knock, FBI open up? But you're technically violating the law. You are technically violating the license. Now, is that person gonna, you know, get a lawyer involved over you selling a printed part, like one printed, you know, meme print to your buddy? Probably not. They'll probably never ever find out. But you are technically violating the license. Now, if you're selling them on Etsy, that's different, because, you know, that person finds out because it's Etsy and people will share, and then next thing you know, they post about it on Twitter, and then people start complaining, and then you're in trouble. So if you're gonna do it right. I've printed stuff for friends, co-workers, whatnot. I got a buddy at work. His kids have a whole bunch of T-Rex skulls because they wanted, you know, they're into dinosaurs. They're little kids. And so I printed him a whole bunch of dinosaur skulls. And he gave me, like, you know, 30, 40 bucks for them or whatever for a whole bunch of them, which cover the cost of filament and electricity. I didn't really make money on it. I didn't really want to make money on it, you know, but I don't even remember which models. They probably were non-commercial models, but it is what it is. That's why I only really charged them for filament and time on the machine. I didn't make any money on it. Okay, so let's see which plugs in where. Oh yeah, this goes in there. And that is your thermistor, goes in there. And we are back hooked up. There we go. Good to go. Prusa XL is supposed to be easier. I doubt it. If you look at the Prusa XL, it's still using a heat break that can spin, and you're still going to have to hot tighten on the Prusa XL. Just going off what I've seen on the videos, they are using a nozzle that has an integrated heat break, so you're not going to have ooze issues, but the actual nozzle block itself rotates, and they don't have any sort of the spring tensioning mechanism like the Revo has. It's patented. So you're still going to have to hot tighten on a Prusa XL. Now, will they have a system where you can change the tool head out? Maybe. I don't know. Okay, so let's see here. So let's compare. So let's see how much truth there is to the mantra that if you move your printer from, you know, a non-sturdy desk to a sturdy desk, do you need to rerun input shaper? So this is my current input shaper values, okay? So this is input shaper on wobbly bench, okay? So it has rerun input shaper, okay, on the new bench. So save, config. Machine, config, scroll to the bottom. And this is input shaper on sturdy desk. So how much of a difference is it? There is a difference. So we went from MZV to EI, and 2-hump EI remained the same. And 62 and 61. So yeah, there is a difference. Now, How much of a difference is that in the actual print? Well, that's hard to say. And I did tension my belts too. I did tension my belts. So there is a difference. I forgot I tensioned my belts. So it's not a one-to-one comparison. But yeah, see, you tension your belts or you move your printer, you should rerun Input Shaper. It's really not that hard to do. Now I gotta unplug the 80XL. Like, you just rerun it. Did I squeak the BTD duct? This one doesn't have a BTD duct. This is a fysetc printer. So it's recommending around 7,000 Excel max. You want to see how repeatable it is? Okay. Shaper, calibrate. Okay, so let me, oh shoot, I closed Notepad. Machine, big. So if you're curious about how accurate and repeatable Input Shaper is, so there it is right now. Oh, Shaper calibrate. Oh, got a home first. We're gonna run it again and see if it changes. Close the doors. I can't close the doors all the way. Oh. Okay, well, it unplugged itself. I don't know if I could plug this in with it powered off. You know what? I'm not going to risk it. Shut down. Because I don't know which plug is where. I'm going to have to figure out which wires, because I have no idea which wires these are. I have no idea. Yeah, it's VCC, but which one is VCC and which one's... Yeah. Okay, so we're done on Input Shaper. Turn off the printer. Can I reach in there and... Yeah, because I'm going to have to like flip it over to figure out which way the wires go. Unplug. I can live with the values I got. I'm sure they'll be fine. Let's print something. Let's get a print going. Yeah, I don't have the wires soldered on. They're just with the header, and it fell off. So. Okay, turn the printer on. This thing is massive. Like, just massive. And yes, that is what she said. Okay, V-Minion. V-Minion. Rat Rig V-Minion. V-Minion currently sold out. Oh, okay. STLs. Files and printing. Package. So we got Trident, we got Toasty ABS, and discard all those settings, yeah. Speeds and feeds, seems about okay. Travels, bump up travels. We're gonna run a little conservative at first for our values. We're not gonna go all balls to the walls yet. So we got, what is it, 345 on the Y, right? 345. Okay. There we go. So I'm reusing my toasty ABS profile because it's close enough. Folder. Extract all. Okay, so let's print some V-Minion parts. Product made? No. CAD, print parts, machine, SELs. Okay, so let's print some Y stuff, I guess, or X stuff. Let's print the X stuff. So X idler, X motor cage, X wire holder. Yeah. Let's print the X stuff. Okay. I gotta orientate parts. I guess they don't come pre-orientated. That's kind of poo-poo. Does that go that way? Or that way? Why aren't you pre-orientated? Oh, they give you this. Okay, so I guess I can look at this to see how I'm supposed to orientate my parts. Okay, so that's that part. That's... okay. Oh, I should be heating up the bed. There we go. 110. I'm assuming this one prints like that. Okay. So print settings, perimeters and shells. So we'll do 4, 5, 5. We're going to print it on Voron settings. I know they recommend certain settings, but I'm printing my Voron settings. Infill, 40%. Gyroid. Sure. Infill. Grim, loops, 3, sure. Actually slicing shells on first layer. One outer wall, first layer. There we go. And then extra print. So this is something I've kind of always done. I normally add an extra wall on odd layers. So that way think about it like your infill. Instead of your infill just coming up to your wall and just stopping, you now have a layer sitting on top of your infill and below. So it's kind of like joining it with your wall. So I normally run an extra wall on infill. It's just something I do on printed parts. James! Oh, okay, I guess that didn't pop up. Or I missed it. James Miller, $50. Thank you, appreciate it. Thanks for the content videos. Help while recovering from my injury. Ooh, I hope you're okay. I don't know if you want to share what injury, but that's good that they did that. Oof, that sucks. Injuries suck. It's never good to be hurt. Should all be healthy and happy. And then speeds and feeds are nothing major. 60, 90, 120 for infill, bridge speeds, blah, blah, blah. Volumetric, I don't know, it's got a Raptor. We'll just put it at 28 for now, so we don't accidentally go too fast. Was it a nozzle burn? Well, if you need my videos to help you recover from a nozzle burn, like, did you fall asleep on the print bed? Yeah. Okay, so 4.5 hours. Export G-code, save. So we're gonna let that do that. That is a lot of heat. Actually, let me home. I want to flip it around. I want to do textured. I want to try the textured side. So I'm probably going to get burned here pulling off a almost 100-degree flex plate, but I want to do the textured side of the PI. Which means I'm probably going to have to live adjust my Z offset. I will say though, their PI, the fysetc PI is actually nice and sticky. Like it sticks to the bed very well. Just a broken back, no big deal. No big deal. Does that mean you're short? Because then it wouldn't be a big deal because you're short. Sorry. Long sleeves are helpful for moving 100-degree beds. Gloves are too. Yeah, I'm gonna have to like figure out which one of these because I just have a mass of wires that plugs in. So I gotta figure out which way these go and which one's which. Boo. I'm sorry. I had to. Doesn't your switcher have a fysetc bed with the weak magnets? Yes, but the difference is this is a bed that is patterned off of the Prusa bed, so it has those individual magnets. That is a flex plate magnet. That's just a sheet of magnet, and it's pretty strong. So they're different products essentially. My apron has a pen slot. Well, the problem is, I normally was keeping a scale in there, but where my mic is, I normally catch it when I do it, and then it's kind of annoying when I do that. So I normally don't put anything in that pocket. But normally I keep my scale in there. When I remember. The problem is, I keep everything in this apron, but then what'll happen is I'll be down here off stream working on something, and I don't wear the apron usually when I'm just down here by myself doing something. Like, I will sometimes if I'm, like, doing, like, you know, I'm making dust or, like, if I'm working with resin, I'll wear the apron. Or if I'm, like, working with, you know, chamfering metal or filing something, I'll wear the apron. But if I'm just down here, like, doing firmware or something, or just, like, doing something quick, working on maintenance or whatever, I usually don't wear the apron. So what'll happen is, like, I'll need, you know, my knife. So I'll pull my knife out of the apron that's sitting in the closet. I'll pull a pen out, and I just forget to put it back in. Off work for a few months and I am shorter now. Oof, that sucks. Usually that means that hurt. Oh, that hurt. Interesting to see how long the magnet stays on. That's why I'm going right into printing ABS parts at 110 degrees. I will say, the fans are a little loud. The part cooling fans are, or correction, the fans for electronics cooling are a little loud. Is what it is, though. So let me heat up the bed on V226 and see how the UPS handles it. So let's see if my UPS decides to complain, because my old UPS would complain when I did this. Ugh. Display. Load. 800 watts. 842 watts. And it's peaking it. It's max loading it. So it is drawing 800 watts, 96% load. It's bounced between 60 and 90% load. Let's say how many volts. Now, these are both heating up. So that's the thing. Any recommendations for a GIF, something that works well enough out of the box? Prusa Mini. I have a hard time, like, I know it's a good printer, the Prusa Mark 3S. The problem is, I think it's starting to get a little long in the tooth. 8-bit board, it's an older design. It's got, when the Mark 4 comes out, when it has, like, you know, the extruder and some of the stuff brought over from the XL, maybe, but at the moment I can justify buying a Mini a lot easier than I can for a Prusa Mark III. 180 millimeters cubed is big enough for most people too. So it seems to be okay heating up both at the same time. I want to see upload and print. I really want to see how much, what the load is once they're stable, once they're at like temperature and they're just keeping the bed at temperature. Because right now they're both heating up the bed at, you know, well, 0.6%, but they're, or yeah, 60% PWM, but they're both heating the bed up. So that's a, how big is the bed in here? I think this is like a 600 watt and that's like a 400 watt bed or something like that, or 500. So we'll get the print going, and then we'll, at that point, that's about it, I think. Get the print going, we'll let it print for a little bit, and then we'll call it. So I think we're about done. That's pretty much it for the Trident. Does anyone have any questions about it? What's this fan? Oh, this is for the, yeah. Like anything that I didn't go over, or if you missed anything, or you want me to cover over something again. KV3D 15, thank you, appreciate it. All in all, I think it's a good kit. I'll do a video on it once I get some actual hours on it printing. So as of right now, just the build, okay? They give you a nice little wiring diagram, which we followed, and it worked. So you get a wiring diagram with the kit. They do have a configuration for it on their GitHub that works. We changed some things because I wanted to change some things, but their stock config worked. Their wiring guide is pretty okay. It seems okay. No hot end. No hot end at first, but they did ship it. I do have a dragon right here. Actually, I haven't unboxed it. Let me open it up and make sure there is a dragon in there. You never know. So, Davey, $10. Happy birthday from me. My birthday. Happy birthday. Open. So yeah, we do have a high flow dragon. So they did send me a dragon. I do have a dragon. And the panel issue. Obviously, the panel is being undersized. The fact that they fixed the hot end in a week, if they were to do that for everyone, that's easy. Am I gonna put a Revo in it? I have 2 Revos. Well, I technically have 3 Revos. One's the beta unit, and I'm saving that because we're gonna test it. But the 2 production units I have are in use. One's in V226 here, and one's in the switch wire. I don't have any more Revos. E3D only sent me the 2. I tried to get more. I only have the 2. But no, I'm going to keep the Raptor in there because it seems like a fine hot end with my experience with it so far. So should start printing soon. What do we have? How long can a UPS handle like full load on it before it like dies? Because they're both now at temperature pretty much. Yeah, so now it's sitting around, instead of going up to 800 something watts, it's like 400 to 600 watts. So, size of the batteries. Depends on the UPS 2 to 50. I'm not worried about it going down. The power here, when it goes down, flickers. So like the power will go out for like a second and then come right back up. That's all I really need the UPS for 90% of the power outages here are literally like just the power cycled. I'm just worried about killing the UPS. Like if I were to like leave it like this for a prolonged period, like degrade the battery type thing. Okay, let me turn the bed off. Let me see what the one does. Should be fine with the power. Yeah, I was just worried about killing the batteries. Like if it would degrade the life of it. God damn it, I got dog hair all over it already. Yeah, check the first layer. Oh yeah, I'm gonna be watching the first layer. Well, you guys can watch the first layer there. Is it backwards? It's backwards. Machine. Oh wait, no, what am I doing? Flip horizontal. There we go. James, thank you for becoming a member. How long the breaker on the mains hold? I've had 3 printers running in here. The most I've had running in this room. So I have the computer, which I believe everything in this room is on the same circuit. I didn't wire my basement. It's a little sketchy, but I've had the computer on with all the monitors. So 3 monitors, V226 running, Tallboy running, the switch wire running, and a resin printer running all at the same time. And it was all okay. So hopefully, hopefully, it's okay. Okay, so. Actually, that first layer looks pretty good. This is another reason I run a skirt. It's so I can watch the first layer go down. And usually you can adjust your offset by watching the skirt, and get it kind of good before you actually start printing. Yeah, that looks pretty good. You can see me staring in the window. Hello. And this is, by the way, this is Sparta 3D Sparkle Lemon Yellow. Yeah, that first layer looks fine. I could dig it. Uh, 2X new 12-volt batteries and battery in downtown Janet and Wyandotte 37 each. Just don't fully drain the lead acid. Thanks, Ken. Did you check someone didn't wedge the breaker on? No, the breaker, what I did was I took a 22. Or actually, no, I had a 22 before as a audible notification. Now I just have a bolt in there. And that way it doesn't trip anymore, right? With 3 printers heating up the bed at not the same time. Correct. So that's like worst case scenario for load is 3 printers heating up the bed at the same time. But usually you don't have all 3 printers. So just this run this just this one running by itself, it's bouncing between it's bouncing up to between 120 watts up to 420 watts. So. Show us the RPI cam. It's right there. Is there a way to pop it out and like I can copy it, but when I open it in another thing, it's like not, it's upside down and backwards because I had to switch it, but there it is there. I don't know if I can edit it. Well, technically I can edit it. Properties, defaults, oh, cancel. That's not it. Flip horizontally. Oh, no, wrong one. Properties. Nope. Properties. Bippity boppity, show me the properties. Transform. Flip vertically. There we go. There you guys go. No longer an Aussie printer. And then I don't need lights. I do have lights in, Toasty has lights, but I don't have lights in any of my other printers because normally, I got a whole bank of lights right above them and they have, you know, acrylic open tops. And then the lights are actually dimmed because on stream, this isn't stream mode. When I'm not streaming, they're much brighter. But when I'm streaming, it obviously blows my colors out. So I have them turned down. Dang it. I hate this on YouTube. You know how many times I accidentally pin a bot comment? Unpin message. Because I go to report and like the chat moves up and I accidentally click pin instead of report. Oh yeah, and the V01 has lights too. Turn down for what? That's not the first time I've pinned a bot message. So yeah, it's printing. I can get a serial now. Not bad, not bad. Yeah, make the bottom odd. That reminds me. So, way back in the day, my guild on World of Warcraft, this is back during like original World of, like vanilla World of Warcraft. We had one guy in our guild who always ran Maraudin. He was a hunter. He always ran Maraudin by himself for, that's how you made money back then, right? He would solo it and then he would sell stuff off the final boss. And he ended up befriending a Chinese gold farmer. And we actually got to the point where we would bring him along with raids. Like if we were short people on raids, we would bring him along and just for fun. Like Buddy would invite him and using like some online translator, and we'd invite him along for raids and like we'd give him shit and, you know, let him roll on loot and whatnot. Just because it was like, whatever. It was like a pet. I could have been brave. The problem is I got to record some stuff in the morning and I don't want that running while I'm recording. So, but yes, I can, for those curious, let's pull it up here. Let me turn off Aussie mode. This is all the parts for a V-Minion. The problem I don't like is the fact that they don't come pre-loaded in and you have to like... the fact that I have to like rotate them all. That is super annoying. Like... But if you're curious how long it takes to print a V-Minion, obviously it's probably going to work. Well, it'll work because I don't have any support selected. So some of these are probably not orientated correctly. You can extract models. A lot of video games you can do it. You can't hear the printer. I have a noise gate on. Let me turn it off. Filters. So this is noise suppression off and muted the music. So this is me standing directly in front of the printer. Yeah. The white noise, that's because I have the noise gate off. Yeah, I don't know why I'm getting white noise from the mic. I don't know if it's the mic or the shitty little... Because I'm using like a really cheap lav from the mic up. Like what I can do is do that. Let me see. Filters, disable, close. Okay, is the white noise back? Is the white noise back? Because right now this is just the built-in mic on the lav. It's back, yes. So it's something to do with the mic. It's probably something to do with like the million of cables I have. So that's why I just keep a low noise gate on, and I just don't have that issue. So it's just connected through a 3.5 audio jack, and there's like a million cables back here, so it's probably getting some sort of interference. I wouldn't doubt it. I've got so many cables back there. A DJI mic? What is a DJI mic? Paste. Like, this mic is fine, though. Like, okay, it's a wireless mic, yeah. How much is it? Probably stupid expensive. It's DJI. Yeah, $330. This is a Rode Wireless Go, and I just keep a low noise gate on it, which I normally do because it gets rid of background noise, and you guys don't hear anything now. So, like, right now, the audio is fine, so I'm not worried about the having to run a low noise gate, because it just picks back, it cuts out all the little stuff, so. But it could just be the crappy cable that I got plugging into it. I'm not too concerned, because right now, which is what you guys hear 90% of the time on stream, it sounds fine, so. Hear lots of E. You shouldn't be hearing lots of E right now. Yeah, it's a Rode. It's a first gen. It's a Rode Wireless Go. So yeah, it's printing. I don't know. There we go. Yeah, that's a good camera angle. And then for those curious, it takes approximately a little over a day to print all the parts. And probably actually a bit less if I had them orientated correctly. Because right now they're not orientated correctly. But yeah, a little over a day to print all the parts for a V-Minion. I think there's some EVA parts you have to print too. What the heck was that? that's a spool holder. Yeah. I gotta fix the spool holder. I had to put a little on the spool holder. I have a little leg on it so that it sits flat because it's like half on the acrylic, but I made it too tall so the whole spool is like canted over. So I gotta fix that. So I'm gonna actually do that tonight. I'm hearing a ringing noise, but that's because I'm old and I have tinnitus. Probably. I kind of have it too, so. Do I use a filament filter? I do sometimes. The problem is I lost a bunch. I made a bunch at one point and then I lost them. Like I just misplaced them. So I don't really bother half the time. There are EVA parts, but I got to print different ones because I'm using, I don't know what hot end I'm going to use. I don't know if I'm going to use a high flow dragon or not, or just use a BM, like a dragonfly. I've got dragonflies. I've got V6s. I've got mosquitoes. I've got dragons, high flow dragons. I'm tempted to do this. Let me see here. Where is the gubbins for it? Yeah. No, I don't know where it is. I don't know where I put them. Oh, they're in another bin. Basically, I don't know if they have a Hemera or a micro mount for the EVA, but use a V6 block with a Hemera heat break on a micro heatsink because I have an extra micro heatsink. I got 2 extra micro heatsinks. So yeah. Actually, no. Well, I could. I could swap out the... Right now, I just got a regular micro in here. I don't have a Voron micro. I got the heat sinks for those just chilling. Or a Revo Voron. So, I think we're going to end the stream around now. That's printing. I'll get a serial video up because it's now done, I guess. I'll post pictures of the final print off stream. But yeah, I think we're pretty good. Like, the bed's a little hot though, I think. Pull it off here. Yeah, the overhangs on here are brutal. Like, I know it's a 45, but so close to the bed. They have massive overhangs, and they're kind of warping a little bit up. Just a little bit of warping up. But I'm only printing 4 parts in a small area, so that's probably why. How flat was the bed? Flat enough. I did a mesh we did a mesh, but it was like cooling down. When I go to do the video, I'll do a mesh cold, and then I'll heat soak it for half an hour and do another mesh, and we'll see how much it goes all funky chicken on us. So yeah, so I'm going to call the stream there. Went a little bit longer than I wanted to, but we're always having fun here. So that is the end of the Trident build. It's done. It's on the shelf. It's doing its thing. So in the future, coming up, next stream Tuesday, we're going to continue on with our Lecter Kit V0. Don't forget, somebody will win this. I'm giving away this printer after it's built at some point. We will be doing a charity stream for the Sanjay Foundation. And part of that charity stream is we're gonna raffle this off at the end, or give it away at the end. And somebody will get it. I will take the built printer, we will put it in a box, and it will go to your house. Somebody will win this. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel, ring the bell, follow me on the Twitter at 3DPNero. so you don't miss out on any notifications. So you don't miss that, although I'll probably, once we get everything sorted out for that, I'll probably spam the hell out of it, because I've been wanting to do that charity stream for a while now. I think they finally have it set up. I think E3D finally has a charity set up, so I got to talk to Claire about that to get it all finalized. So we'll wrap that guy up. Friday, I'm going to try and do a stream Friday, early afternoon. We'll put the Comgrow Robo CNC together. It's just a little desktop CNC, that little one-off stream. Next Tuesday, or next Saturday, we'll wrap this guy up. Well, I don't know how many streams it'll take to wrap up the V0. We'll see. And then after that, a Micron, a V-Minion, a 2.4, some print and chill streams. We got to put an LGX on this guy at some point. A lot of stuff in the future. Again, this is now my job because of you guys. I can only do this because of you guys. So all your continued support, I really do appreciate it. You help me do what I do, help produce the content I create, which entertains you and educates you. So you guys are all awesome. Even those that just watch the stream, you just watching the stream is awesome. But on your way out, make sure you like that smash button. Be safe out there. Wash your hands. Cheers.